You've probably been there before, caught in that awkward moment where someone's being friendly but you're not sure if it's just kindness or actual flirting. That tension in the air, the little smiles, the subtle touches. But what does it really mean? Is she interested, or is she just being nice? This question trips up more men than you might think, and the truth is, knowing the difference can change everything. Let me start by telling you this. Most guys miss the signs because they don't understand the subtle art of social signals. It's not about grand gestures or obvious comments. It's the little things, the invisible language that people don't say out loud. And once you get fluent in this language, you'll stop wasting time on dead ends and start recognizing opportunities that were hiding in plain sight. Here's the catch. The biggest mistake men make is confusing friendliness with flirting, and that usually happens because we're wired to hope for the best. When a woman smiles at you, laughs at your jokes, or touches your arm, our minds jump straight to attraction. But in reality, these behaviors can mean many things. So how do you tell the difference without looking desperate or reading too much into nothing? One of the first things you want to observe is the context. Context is everything. If she's being warm and friendly with everyone around her, then her actions towards you might be just that, friendly. But if she's selective, giving you attention that she's not giving to others, you're starting to see something different. Now, this might sound obvious, but many miss it because they get lost in the moment. Look around you next time you're talking to a woman. Does she treat you differently? Does she lean in when you speak? Are her eyes locked on you even when there's a distraction? These are clues that point beyond politeness. But let me be clear, even those signs aren't 100% foolproof. People are complex, and social behavior isn't a precise science. That's why you need to learn to pick up on clusters of signals, not just one or two isolated actions. When multiple signs line up, that's your green light. For example, if she initiates physical contact like brushing your hand or lightly touching your shoulder, while maintaining strong eye contact and smiling, chances are she's flirting. But if her touch feels more like a casual brush-off or a friendly tap, paired with a polite smile and glances elsewhere, she's probably just being nice. Another key is her responsiveness to your teasing or light banter. Flirting often comes with playful challenges. A woman who's interested will throw subtle jabs, test your wit, or laugh a little louder at your jokes. Someone who's just being nice will respond politely but won't engage in the game. You might think, okay, but what if she's shy or just naturally reserved? Good question. Some women don't express interest in the same obvious ways. So you have to look for micro movements. The slight quickening of her breath when you get closer, the way she plays with her hair when she looks at you, or the subtle mirroring of your body language. These small but consistent details reveal attraction beneath the surface. Also, pay attention to her energy around you. Is she more lively, animated, or open when she's with you compared to others? Does she find excuses to stay close or linger in conversation longer than necessary? These are powerful signs. But here's something crucial. You want to avoid falling into the trap of reading every friendly gesture as flirting. That's how you end up chasing ghosts and feeling rejected when nothing was there to begin with. So balance your observations with confidence. Don't act on every signal immediately. Let things unfold naturally and test her interest gradually. One way to do this is through calibrated responses, subtle ways of raising the stakes without risking too much. For instance, if she laughs at your joke and touches your arm, you can respond by leaning in slightly, holding her gaze a little longer, or lightly teasing her back. Watch how she reacts. If she matches your energy or smiles even more, that's a positive. If she pulls back or seems uncomfortable, dial it down. This push and pull is a dance, and understanding it keeps you from moving too fast or getting stuck in confusion. Now, another common misunderstanding comes from social media and texting. Sometimes, a woman's friendliness online can feel like flirting, because emojis, quick replies, and compliments can be easily misread. Remember, online behavior is easier to misinterpret because it lacks tone and physical cues. So in person is where the truth reveals itself. And here's a tip most guys overlook. Your own energy matters as much as hers. If you approach with uncertainty or desperation, you'll misread signals because your brain is wired to find what it wants. Confidence sharpens your perception, helping you see reality more clearly. That means working on your own mindset is as important as learning to read hers. When you're grounded and sure of yourself, you'll notice the difference between polite smiles and genuine interest without second guessing. This is where many fall short. They want to be liked so badly that they force the interaction into what they wish it to be, instead of what it really is. Think about the last time you felt truly desired. What did the other person do? How did their behavior make you feel? Chances are, it wasn't just kindness or basic friendliness. It was a deeper connection, an energy that went beyond words. This is what you want to tune into, the invisible thread that pulls two people closer. And remember, flirting is a form of communication, a game of signals and responses, subtle cues and timing. It's not about overanalyzing every word or action, but feeling the flow and adapting to it. Now, to sharpen your skills even further, start practicing active observation. When you're out, don't just focus on your own experience. Watch how others interact. Notice how someone flirts versus how they just show friendliness. The more you observe, the more your mind will train itself to spot patterns without effort. You might be surprised how many little things you missed before. The great thing is that flirting is universal, but also personal. Each person has their own style, their unique way of expressing interest. So the key isn't memorizing a checklist, but developing a sixth sense for those moments that tell you this is different. You'll start to notice things like a change in tone of voice, a slight hesitation before responding, or a smile that lingers a second longer than usual. These are the moments that tell you she's not just being nice. And here's a final thought for this part. Sometimes the best indicator is what happens next. After the initial interaction, does she find ways to keep the conversation going? Does she seek you out in group settings? Flirting often leads to repeated engagement because attraction motivates people to invest time and energy. On the other hand, friendly gestures usually end after the surface level. So, pay attention to follow-up behavior. Now, here's a reality most guys don't realize. The difference between how a woman behaves when she's genuinely interested and how she acts when she's just enjoying your company without romantic intentions. This distinction is crucial because sometimes we mistake a genuine friendship connection for something more, and that's how misunderstandings and frustration start. When someone's truly interested, they don't just focus on surface-level things. They invite you to be vulnerable, to show who you really are. The curiosity becomes authentic. They want to know not just your hobbies or basic facts, but your dreams, your fears, what makes you unique. If you notice the conversation diving into more personal territory, that's a strong sign she's not just being polite. But don't expect this openness to be always straightforward or verbal. Sometimes the questions come as subtle observations, like remembering something you mentioned weeks ago or noticing details in your style or behavior. That shows she's paying close attention with real interest, not out of obligation. And this connects with something equally important: emotional investment. When a woman is interested, the energy she puts into the interaction isn't the same as when she's just being courteous. That investment shows in small gestures like sharing something personal, offering help before you even ask, or making indirect plans to see you again. Yet, in today's world of social media, that investment can get confusing. She might comment on your posts or react to your stories, but that doesn't always mean she's flirting. Sometimes it's just a way to keep a light social connection without any romantic intent. That's why the real difference is clearer in person, where body language and energy speak volumes. Take how she responds to physical contact, for example. An interested woman will find excuses to touch you. A light brush on the arm, leaning in close, or a gentle touch. But if the contact feels accidental, brief, or she pulls away, chances are she's just being polite. It's fascinating how something as simple as physical distance can reveal so much. Proximity is a silent language. When someone is interested, they unconsciously close the gap between you. When there's no interest, invisible barriers form. It's not just what she says, but where she stands or sits relative to you. And here's a detail most guys overlook: the rhythm of the conversation. Genuine interest speeds up responses, fills them with energy, sometimes even nervous excitement. On the other hand, polite interaction tends to come with flat, slow, or delayed answers without enthusiasm. The speed and tone of her voice act like an emotional thermometer revealing what's unsaid. Also, syncing up body language is a powerful indicator. When a woman's interested, she mirrors your gestures unconsciously, matching your posture, nodding when you nod, leaning in when you do. This subconscious mimicry is her way of building connection, signaling alignment on a deeper level. If you start noticing these patterns, the quickened responses, the physical closeness, the subtle mirroring, you're moving past mere politeness and into flirting territory. On the flip side, if she keeps her arms crossed, avoids eye contact, or frequently looks away, these are signs she's not interested beyond friendliness. Another hidden sign is how she reacts to your presence in a group. Does she seek you out among others? Does she position herself so she can be near you or find excuses to join your conversation? People naturally gravitate towards those they're attracted to, even without realizing it. And if she's genuinely interested, she'll remember little details about you, bringing them up later, something you said in passing, a favorite band or movie. This shows her mind keeps replaying your interactions, a classic sign of attraction. Of course, none of this means you should read every little gesture as flirting. Sometimes a woman is just being warm, kind, or friendly by nature. The key is to look for consistency and clusters of signals over time, not isolated moments. The goal is to build awareness without overanalyzing, so you stay grounded in reality while opening yourself up to possibilities. Your mindset plays a massive role here too. Approaching these situations with confidence sharpens your perception. When you're certain of your value, you're less likely to misinterpret friendly behavior as flirting, or worse, miss real signs because you doubt yourself. So it's a balance, trusting your observations, but also trusting yourself. As you get better at reading these signals, you'll start to spot the invisible threads connecting you to someone interested. It's like tuning into a frequency others miss. These are the moments where attraction speaks louder than words. The way her eyes hold yours a fraction longer, the slight hesitation before she replies, or the warmth in her smile when she looks at you. All these details weave together into a bigger picture, revealing whether what you're experiencing is flirting or just kindness. And sometimes the best clues come not during the interaction, but after. Does she find reasons to reconnect? Does she message you later or show up where you are without being invited? Flirting motivates people to invest time and energy. Friendliness often doesn't. So pay attention to what happens next as much as what happens now. There's another layer most men overlook when trying to figure out if it's flirting or just kindness, the role of emotional safety. When a woman feels safe with you, she naturally lowers her guard, and that can look a lot like flirting. Smiles become more genuine, laughter comes easier, and she might initiate more touch. But this isn't always attraction in a romantic sense. Sometimes it's simply a sign of trust and comfort. This is why understanding the difference requires paying attention not just to what she does, but to how she behaves in different contexts. Does she act the same way with her close friends or only with you? Is her energy reserved for a few select people, or is she just an outgoing person in general? Another aspect to consider is how she communicates beyond words. Her eyes are a window to her intentions. The way she looks at you can reveal everything from playful teasing to deep interest. A quick glance that flickers away might be just politeness, but a steady, soft gaze that lingers says something else entirely. It's almost as if her eyes are silently inviting you into her world. But don't get trapped in staring contests. Instead, notice how often her gaze returns to you during conversations, or even when you're not speaking. That silent magnetism speaks volumes. We can't ignore the power of humor in this dynamic either. Flirting often involves playful teasing, subtle challenges, and inside jokes that build connection. If she's laughing with you in a way that feels personal, sharing moments that seem crafted just for your interaction, that's flirting. On the flip side, polite laughter tends to be more reserved, less engaged, the kind of chuckle you give someone you barely know out of social courtesy. And here's where you can test the waters. Throw in a little playful challenge or light tease and observe her reaction. If she throws one back, smirks, or raises an eyebrow, you've likely crossed into flirting territory. If she just smiles politely or changes the subject, she's probably not interested in that way. Body language is a minefield full of clues, but one of the most revealing signs is how her feet point when she's talking to you. It might sound strange, but psychology shows that people subconsciously point their feet toward what they want or like. If her feet are angled toward you, that's a strong nonverbal sign of interest. Feet pointed away often mean the opposite, a desire to disengage or distance herself. This is subtle but powerful. You won't hear it discussed often, but it's a secret weapon in reading people. Also, notice if she mirrors your breathing or blinks at the same rhythm. These unconscious behaviors signal rapport and attraction, as the body syncs naturally when there's connection. The more you train yourself to pick up on these silent cues, the more confident you'll feel distinguishing between flirting and friendliness. Another key element is timing. Flirting isn't constant. It ebbs and flows with the rhythm of interaction. If she's consistently warm but suddenly pulls back or gets quieter, that might mean she's setting boundaries or testing your reaction. Respecting those fluctuations without overreacting shows emotional intelligence and keeps things comfortable for both of you. In contrast, genuine flirting keeps a spark alive. A back-and-forth dance where both parties are actively engaged in the exchange. And what about the role of touch? Not all touch is created equal. A fleeting touch on the hand can be casual, but a deliberate touch on the back or a playful nudge is more intimate and flirty. Watch how she touches you. Is it light and accidental or confident and intentional? The difference tells you a lot about her intentions. Beyond physical cues, the way she talks about her life around you can reveal interest. If she shares stories that highlight her emotions, her dreams, or vulnerabilities, that's a sign she's opening a door to deeper connection. Someone who's just being friendly might keep conversations light and superficial. This willingness to be seen on a deeper level signals trust and attraction. And pay attention to how she reacts when you share similar vulnerabilities. Does she reciprocate with her own stories? Does she lean in or maintain eye contact? That mutual exchange creates intimacy, the foundation of flirting. Even silence can be revealing. Comfortable silence, where neither of you rushes to fill the gap, shows a unique ease and connection. Nervous or awkward silence usually means one or both are unsure. The way she behaves when you step away also matters. Does she look for you or seem relieved to have a break? Flirting often creates a desire to stay connected. Friendly interactions don't always inspire that. You can also notice if she initiates conversations outside of your encounters. A text, a message, or a social media interaction that feels personal rather than casual. That proactive effort is a subtle but powerful sign of interest. And here's a critical point. Don't underestimate the power of subtle compliments. Flirting often involves compliments that feel tailored and personal, rather than generic or obligatory. She might praise something unique about you, your sense of humor, your style, or a personal achievement. Friendly compliments tend to be polite and surface level. Flirty compliments carry warmth and deeper meaning. As you start recognizing these nuances, you'll find it easier to trust your instincts instead of second-guessing every interaction. This isn't about becoming a detective, but about tuning in to natural human signals you've probably been missing. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, like learning a new language without even realizing it. And the best part? Once you understand these cues, you stop wasting time on signals that aren't real and start focusing on connections that have real potential. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, like learning a new language without even realizing it. Suddenly, you start to see what others miss, picking up on signals that reveal genuine interest rather than just politeness. This skill doesn't just save you time, it elevates your confidence, sharpens your social radar, and puts you in control of your interactions. Imagine never second-guessing whether she's flirting or just being nice. Picture yourself navigating social situations with ease, knowing when to take a step forward or when to hold back, all while keeping that magnetic energy alive. That's the power of mastering these subtle signs. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been confused about whether someone was flirting or just being friendly? What signals caught your attention, and how did you respond? Drop your stories or questions in the comments. Let's create a community where we learn from real experiences and sharpen these skills together. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share it with friends who might need this insight. The more people who understand these social codes, the stronger and more confident we all become. Your next chance at connection could be just a few signals away, and mastering this game means you won't miss it. Stay sharp, trust your instincts, and I'll see you in the next video.